My sister mocked me at the wedding I paid for. The champagne flute shattered against the marble floor, 1,000 tiny shards catching the chandelier's glow like cruel, glittering tears. My sister's laugh, sharp, mocking, cut through the gasps of the wedding guests, her eyes glinting with something darker than mischief. "Oh, Clara, always so dramatic," she slurred, swaying in her maid-of-honor dress, the crimson silk clinging to her like a second skin. "You paid for all this, didn't you? Throwing money at love you'll never have." The words landed like a slap, raw and stinging, and I stood frozen, my heart hammering, the air thick with the scent of roses and betrayal. I'd spent months planning this wedding, my sister Elise's wedding, pouring my savings into every detail. The imported orchids, the string quartet, the sprawling estate with its ivy-draped arches. I told myself it was for her happiness, for the sister I'd raised after Mom died. But now, her words echoed in my skull, twisting the knife of doubt I'd buried for weeks. Something had been off. Her late-night texts, her evasions, the way her fiancé, Daniel, avoided my gaze. I chalked it up to wedding stress, to my own loneliness painting shadows where none existed. But as the crowd stared, their whispers buzzing like static, I felt the ground shift beneath me. The reception hall was a blur of opulence, gold-rimmed plates, candlelight flickering on silk tablecloths, the clink of glasses mingling with the quartet's mournful notes. I forced a smile, my hands trembling as I smoothed my navy dress, the fabric suddenly suffocating. Elise had always been the radiant one, the one who drew eyes and broke hearts, while I was the steady hand, the planner, the one who cleaned up her messes. But tonight, her cruelty felt deliberate, a crack in the facade I'd built around her perfection. I caught Daniel's eye across the room. He looked pale, his jaw tight, like a man bracing for a storm. "Clara, I'm sorry," Elise mumbled later, pulling me aside near the dessert table, her breath heavy with wine. "I didn't mean it. You know I love you." Her words were soft, but her eyes darted to the side, and I followed her glance to Daniel, who was speaking to his boss, Mr. Harrow, a man whose quiet authority filled the room. Something in their posture, too close, too tense, sent a chill down my spine. I wanted to believe her, to cling to the sister I'd sacrificed for, but the unease I'd ignored for weeks was clawing its way to the surface. The signs had been there, hadn't they? The way Elise and Daniel whispered when they thought I wasn't listening, their voices dropping when I entered a room. The time I found her phone buzzing on the counter, a message from an unknown number. "Meet me tonight." Don't tell her. I'd rationalized it. Maybe a friend, a surprise. But the memory burned now, sharp and accusing. My heart screamed to confront her, but my mind reeled, torn between love and suspicion. What if I was wrong? What if I ruined her day, our bond, over nothing? The music stopped abruptly, and a microphone squealed to life. Mr. Harrow stood at the center of the room, his silver hair gleaming under the lights, his voice steady but laced with something heavy. "Ladies and gentlemen, a toast to the couple, and a truth that can't wait." My stomach dropped. The guests leaned forward, their murmurs fading. Elise gripped my arm, her nails digging in, her breath hitching. Daniel's face drained of color. "Daniel," Mr. Harrow said, his gaze piercing, "you've been a fine employee, but you've made choices that demand accountability." The room was silent, the air thick with anticipation. "I saw you, son." "With her." He nodded toward Elise, and a collective gasp rippled through the crowd. "Not just tonight, but for months." Behind Clara's back, after all she's done. The world tilted. Elise's grip loosened, her face crumpling as she whispered, "No, no, no." Daniel started to speak, but the words choked in his throat. I wanted to scream, to run, but my feet were rooted, my chest a furnace of rage and grief. I'd paid for their love, their lies, with every sin I had, every piece of my heart. And now, as Mr. Harrow's voice carried on, detailing dates, meetings, stolen moments, the truth unfurled like a wound I couldn't close. Elise turned to me, tears streaming, her voice a broken plea. "Clara, I didn't mean for this. I love him, but I love you too. Her confession was a blade, slicing through years of trust. Daniel stood motionless, guilt etched into every line of his face. The guests watched, some horrified, some greedy for the drama. I wanted to hate them both, to let the anger consume me, but all I felt was a hollow ache, the weight of a sister I'd loved too much to see clearly. I stepped back, my heels clicking on the marble, the sound sharp in the silence. You mocked me, I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside. But you broke me first. I turned and walked away, the shards of my champagne flute crunching underfoot, each step a promise to rebuild what they'd shattered.